now behind stage. We're going to catch the subway train into Sydney. A cloudy, sunny.
Just a short walk from Chriskindle and we arrived in Sydenham, where we would catch the local train into the heart of Sydney. But first we had to buy a ticket.
We got our subway ticket. Road to Town Hall and road to Dairyton. That's how you do it.
Our timing was perfect. As soon as we purchased our ticket, the train had arrived.
The train on platform 5 goes to Bondi Junction.
Another subway. There's actually road.
The journey had taken less than 25 minutes from Sydenham. We had arrived in the centre of Sydney. From here, it was a long climb up from the subway depths to reach the street level at Central Station.
Our first sight from beneath the subway was of Sydney Town Hall on George Street.
Across the road is the Queen Victoria Building, built in 1898 by George McRae. Designed and built to hold skilled craftsmen out of work during the severe recession of the 30s and 40s. It is used now as a shopping centre and holds restaurants and cafes.
George Street is the main street of the city. It begins in the north end by the rocks near the Sydney Harbour Bridge and extends to the south end of Sydney near Central Station.
It is possible that George Street was the first official street in Australia.
The street is named after King George III of the United Kingdom by Governor Lachlan Macquarie in 1810. This is George Street, one of the main streets straight through down to the harbour. Now where you go, you always get modern sculptures outside plazas.
Our first impressions of the city were good, but like most international cities, there's always trouble crossing the roads.
As long as you've ever stay at traffic lights, it's ridiculous. Some silly bitch hasn't pressed the button up there. Only in Australia.
With a population of over 4.5 million and a total of 200 nationalities, with English and Chinese being the major languages spoken, Sydney is a strong, growing metropolis.
We headed down to one of the most visited tourist sites in Sydney, the harbour itself.
Sydney Harbour, or as it's officially called, Port Jackson, was founded in 1770 by James Cook.
The harbour is the city's focal point and greatest asset. It has plaques laid within the concrete that celebrate people from Australia that have achieved success and fame throughout the world.
People from all walks of life come to the harbour side, some just to check out the fantastic sights, others try to earn a living entertaining the crowds. Well, good morning. This is the first glimpse of me having followed Barry into the city. It's really quite nice. There's a train in the background, obviously, or a sub-train. And the most obvious thing in the background, but we're not going to see it, we're going to have a coffee, but we thought we'd just like to share this moment with you. This is our first glimpse of the bridge, so take a look.
Well, here I am, having a fresh fruit salad, sitting in front of Sydney Harbour Bridge. You can't get much better than that. This is why I give up my job. I put up with Rob for 6 weeks. For moments like these.
Well, here we are, like we promised. We're just having a quick coffee. We've got 1,000,001 flies. Well, I needed that. I'm just looking over just looking over Barry's shoulder here and just seeing the bridge in the background. It's quite an impressive sight. If you look carefully, you can see people actually walking on the top. But right now, I'm quite happy just to have my pistachio biscuit. You can see the colour. It's green. Very nice. So I'll see you later for a tour of the harbour.
Well, there it is, Sydney Harbour Bridge. And apparently, the 4 pillars on each side are only cosmetic. They don't mean anything. They're just put there to make it jazz it up a bit.
The bridge itself opened in 1932. It is affectionately known by the locals as the coat hanger on the account of its arch-based design.